As we enter into our community's time of prayer, I invite you to now share any joys or concerns that you might have, either with those who you may be watching this with, or in the silence of your hearts. Let us present all of those now to our God. For our pastoral prayer this morning, I would like to offer one written by Father Richard Hendricks. Let us pray. Yes, there is fear and anxiety. Yes, there is isolation. Yes, there is panic buying. Yes, there is sickness. Yes, there is even death. But they say that in Wuhan, China, after so many years of noise, you can hear the birds again. They say that after just a few weeks of quiet, the sky is no longer thick with fumes, but blue and gray and clear. They say that in the streets of Assisi in Italy, people are singing to each other across the empty squares, keeping their windows open so that those who are alone may hear the sounds of family around them. They say that a hotel in the west of Ireland is offering free meals and delivery to the housebound. Today, a young woman I know is busy spreading flyers with her number through the neighborhood so that the elders may have someone to call on. Today, churches and synagogues and mosques and temples are preparing to welcome and shelter the homeless, the sick, and weary. All over the world, people are slowing down and reflecting. All over the world, people are looking at their neighbors in a new way. All over the world, people are waking up to a new reality, to how big we really are, but also to how little control we really have. Today, people are waking up to what really matters, to love. And so we pray and we remember that, yes, there is fear, but there does not have to be hate. Yes, there is isolation, but there does not have to be loneliness. Yes, there is panic buying, but there does not have to be meanness. Yes, there is sickness, but there does not have to be disease of the soul. And yes, there is even death. But there can always be a rebirth of love. And so wait to the choices you make as to how you live now. Today, breathe. Listen. Listen behind the factory noises of your panic. The birds are singing again. The sky is clearing. And we are always encompassed by love. And so open the windows of your soul. And though you may not be able to reach across the empty square, sing anyway. Amen. So let us share these words now from Luke's Gospel. Later, Jesus chose 72 other followers and sent them out 2 by 2 to every town and village where he was about to go. And he said to them, "A large crop is in the fields, but there are only a few workers. So ask the Lord in charge of the harvest to send out workers to bring it in. Now go. But remember that I am sending you out like lambs into a pack of wolves. Don't take along a money bag or a traveling bag or sandals. And don't waste time greeting people on the road. As soon as you enter a home, say, 'God bless this home with peace.' And if the people living there are peace-loving, your prayer for peace will bless them. But if they're not peace-loving, your prayer will return to you. Stay with the same family, eating and drinking whatever they give you, because workers are worth what they earn, but don't move around from house to house. If the people of the town welcome you, eat whatever they offer. Heal their sick and say God's kingdom will soon be here. But if the people of the town refuse to welcome you, go out into the street and say, 'We are shaking the dust from our feet as a warning to you.' And you can be sure that God's kingdom will soon be here. I tell you that on the day of judgment, the people of Sodom will get off easier than the people of that town." When the 72 followers returned, they were excited and said, "Lord, even the demons obeyed when we spoke in your name." And Jesus told them, "I saw Satan fall from heaven like a flash of lightning. I have given you power to trample on snakes and scorpions and to defeat the power of your enemy, Satan. Nothing can harm you. But don't be happy because evil spirits obey you. Be happy because your names are written in heaven." Well, like all of us, I'm guessing at this point, for the last couple of weeks, Cindy and I have been checking in on and being checked on by family and friends a little bit more than usual. In fact, this last week, I heard from a friend of mine, a guy who lives back in New Jersey, but who is a lifelong, diehard Boston sports fan. The walls of the business that he owns and operates are covered. They are covered with Red Sox and Celtics and Bruins and Patriots posters and pennants and jerseys. In fact, Cindy and I and he were all set to go see a Celtics game in early April, but clearly that's not going to happen, which is the reason I'm guessing why he ended our text exchange last week with the following, and I quote, "Since you moved up there, the Red Sox manager has gotten fired, their best pitcher needs season-ending surgery, all of the Celtics' best players keep getting hurt, the Bruins won't get a chance to win a Stanley Cup that they had a really good chance of getting. And now Tom Brady has left the Patriots. Dude, please come back to New Jersey." Ouch. Although he had a point, and it was nicer than one of the other texts that I got from a friend who, when I told him that we were going to online worship in an empty sanctuary, said, "Well, that's okay. I figured you'd have driven everybody out of the place by now anyway." So, gotta love it. Gotta love friends. My friend had a point about all of the stuff going on with the Boston sports teams, but kiddingly, I responded, well, yeah, that might be true, but don't you think your focus is just a little bit off of what's really most important right now? Focus. A word that I think we've heard a little bit more of over the last couple of weeks than usual. I don't know about you, but it seems to me like the last couple of weeks we are constantly being reminded that, for instance, we need to focus on washing our hands more frequently. That we need to focus more on social distancing. That we need to focus more on getting people tested for the coronavirus who need to be tested. I've also heard a number of times over the last couple of weeks how this difficult time is moving us to be more focused on what's really important, on the things that matter most. Family, friends, social interaction, caring for each other, our need for each other. Thing is, focus isn't a given. It's not an automatic in times like this. Focus on what's most important. See, the thing about focus is, like last week we had talked a little bit about how under times of stress we tend to revert to our best learned habits, our most ingrained habits. Well, the other thing about stress is that under stress, we humans are just as prone to lose focus as we are to gain it, to be distracted. Focus is not a given. Focus, a word which means attention, concentration, or in a more formal sense, excuse me, in a more formal sense, as Brad Hatfield, a professor of sports psychology and human performance at the University of Maryland, defines it. Focus is present tense, task-related thought and behavior. Present tense, task-related thought and behavior. But what does it take? What do we need to be able to do that? To have the focus that we need right now on what's most important. To have that kind of present tense, task-related thought and behavior. To avoid distraction, because as distraction goes up, focus goes down. What do we need? Well, if you look at all of the research that's been done over the years on focus, I think you can synthesize all of that into four particular things that we need in order to have that kind of focus. The first is a clear sense of purpose. Clear sense of purpose. A clear sense of what it is that we need or want. Other folks refer to that as vision or primary goal. So that's the first thing. We need to have a clear sense of what it is that we most need to do or want to do in the situation. The second thing that focus requires is a plan. A clear sense of the steps that are necessary in order to make that goal, that vision, that purpose a reality. Because a vision, a goal without a plan, without a set of steps to get there is just a dream. But at the same time, a set of steps, without a vision, without an overriding sense of purpose, without a major goal that we are looking forward to inspire us, is, well, that's just a to-do list. So we need them both working together. The third thing is to use our time and resources wisely. To use them well, to use them effectively and efficiently. We need to understand the difference between something being a want and something being a need. Something being a have to and something being a like to. We need to be able to set aside anything that is extraneous when it comes to what matters most. And then the last thing is we need a sense of what I call idealistic realism, or a pragmatic idealism, if you want to term it the other way. We need to be able to have a sense of what it is that we can do in the moment or in a particular set of circumstances. We need that realism. But we also need to be able to connect it, to never lose sight of how whatever it is that we can do in a particular moment, even if it isn't a big thing, even if it's limited by certain circumstances, we need to be able to also have a sense that it connects. It still connects to the big thing, to the vision, to the purpose, the big purpose that we're after. To use the title of a famous spiritual from the civil rights movement, we need to keep our eyes on the prize while doing whatever we can under the circumstances in the moment. Now, for the last 20 years in this part of the world, you have had a textbook example, an exceptional example of what that kind of focus looks like when it comes to sports. You've had Tom Brady. But at the same time, for the past 2,000 plus years, we have all had a textbook example, an exceptional example of what that kind of focus is all about when it comes to what matters most. When it comes to how we live. When it comes to how we are called to live by God. When it comes to God's call for us to help bring about the kingdom of heaven. A phrase used frequently in Luke's gospel, the gospel that this scene comes from. But a phrase that doesn't mean, like we so often think it does, some place out there somewhere where we go after we die if we've been good. Instead, in Luke's gospel, that phrase, kingdom of heaven, refers to that time when this world and humanity, us, when we come into union with God and God's ways and God's call for our lives. When we, in this world, live lives of kindness and peace and compassion and justice and mercy and forgiveness. We have had a textbook example of what that kind of focus is all about in Jesus for the last 2,000 plus years. Jesus, who says to his closest followers, to 72 of them in this scene from Luke's gospel, now go. Go, he says. Jesus tells 72 of his closest followers to go. Why 72? Seems like kind of a random number, I grant you. I don't know for sure. But a number of scholars believe that the number 72, although it's 70 in other translations of this passage, that the number has to do with the belief at that time by the Jewish people that there were either 70 or 72 other nations in the world. And so it is symbolic on Luke's part. Symbolic of the idea that Jesus' purpose, his mission, his vision, the bringing about of the kingdom of heaven was meant for all people. Everyone. All people. That's the end. Jesus sends out 72 of his closest followers because he has realized, like any good leader, that the job requires more help, that he can't get everywhere himself that he would like to go. And so he needs others to help carry out the mission, purpose, vision. But before he sends them out, he gives them a master class in focus. I'm sending you out like lambs into a pack of wolves, he says first. May not sound particularly inspiring, but it's transparent. He sends them out with a full, clear understanding of the difficulties, the struggles that may come along the way. Not so that they'll be afraid, but so they'll be prepared. So if and when those come, they will not be distracted. They will stay focused. And when you go, he then says, don't take a money bag or backpack or sandals or whatever. And don't waste time greeting anybody on the road. That phrase, that instruction symbolizes. It symbolizes the need for them to use their time and resources wisely. To remember the difference between need to and want to, have to and like to avoid the extraneous and stay focused on what matters most. When you go into a town, he tells them, offer your peace. If they take it, great. If they don't, that's okay as long as they're not hostile to you. Stay there. Eat whatever they give you. Again, having to do with the use of time and resources wisely, but also an introduction into some other instructions that have to do with this idea of idealistic realism. It says, when you go into a town, if they welcome you, great. But if they don't, shake the dust off your feet and move on. Shake it off. Let it go. You haven't done anything wrong. Stay focused on the mission. It's their loss, not yours. They're the ones who will miss out on participating in helping to bring about the kingdom of heaven. It'll be like Sodom for them. Sodom, that city in the Hebrew scriptures that Jesus knew full and well was a constant symbol of not living the way God calls us to. Symbol of being unwilling to help the poor and the needy. Symbol of being unwilling to offer hospitality. Symbol of things like excessive pride. Shake the dust off your feet and move on. Do what you can do in the moment with the time and the resources you have under the circumstances. But never lose sight of the fact that it matters. That it is still connected to the purpose, to the vision. So keep your eyes on Christ. Jesus sends them out with a clear sense of the purpose, mission, vision, with a clear sense of the plan. The plan is threefold. It is to establish relationship, to heal, to bring healing in whatever way that they can, and to offer encouragement. Encouragement in times of trouble, and encouragement for people to become all that God created them to be. And he sends them out with instructions about how to use their time and resources wisely. And then lastly, with a reminder to do it all with a sense of idealistic realism. An idealistic realism that makes possible things like flexibility, creativity, things that we need in the moment when our lives and world don't go the way that we hope that they'll go. When things are difficult. Last week we talked about the necessity for spiritual integrity in a time like this. But just as importantly, we need to bring some serious spiritual focus to what is going on in our lives and in the world at this time. We need to approach this difficult time with a clear sense of purpose, of vision. Our call to help God bring about the kingdom of heaven in this world. We need to approach this time with a clear sense of the plan. God's call for us to help bring relationship and healing and encouragement to others. We need to approach it with the understanding that we need to use the time and resources that we have, whatever they are, wisely and well for those purposes. And lastly, approach it with a sense of idealistic realism. Knowing we can't do everything for everybody, but knowing that we can do something for somebody with the time and the resources that we have. And that something plays a part in achieving the vision, the mission, the goal. Tom Brady may not be here anymore, but we are here. We are here, and we can bring Brady-like focus to the struggles that we and others are facing right now. We can bring a Tom Brady-like focus to something that is far, far more important than football. The kind of focus that God is calling on us to bring to helping each other through this time. Amen. Weiss and Rebecca Shrimpton and Paul Knox for helping me bring it to you, as well as Richard Smith and Cindy Boyer, who once again are taking care of the video aspects of this presentation. In the last part of that scene that we shared, those 72 followers return to Jesus. And Jesus says, I saw Satan fall from the sky, from heavens like lightning. And you had the power while you were out there to trample on snakes and scorpions. Satan, snakes, and scorpions. Symbols throughout the Bible of the worst things that we can face during our lives and in the world. And what Jesus is telling them and us is that if we go out with the kind of focus that he sent them out with, we can overcome the worst that we face in our lives and in this world. We can and will overcome this difficult time if we do it with great focus and do it together. And for that focus, for that possibility, for that opportunity to get through this together, we say thanks be to God.